Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're an oldie but a goodie, welcome back. Say hello to the chickens. It's early in the morning. We got a lot of things to do today. So, if you like watching these kind of videos, keep on watching. So we have all the sweet potatoes that we have to put in the ground today. So the first place I'm going to put them at is somewhere in this green stalk, but only in the big pockets. So wherever I don't have one that got eaten by the bugs, I'm gonna put one of these. Also, remember we were talking about the bugs yesterday. I forgot that it could be aphids since they're eating my plants. But according to Mr. Google, everything I've been attempting to kill the gnats also kills aphids. So I don't know what's going on. So let's get started. I'm gonna put these wherever I need them. I'll be back. So yesterday I forgot to show you my garlic. All the garlic actually had escapes, which is that circle thing that comes in the middle just to build the flower. So I did cut those out. I did put them in the freeze dryer. No, I put them in my freezer because I knew some of them still had some. You see right here. That did not grow yet. So this one I have to cut up. And then my garlic, I want to say you're supposed to count the bottom pieces. And it's supposed to be like 4 dried leaves before you can technically pull them out. So I am still waiting for some. This is grass, clearly. So I'm gonna pull this out. And then we have comfrey growing here. And that's what this bed is gonna be. It's gonna be a comfrey bed. So we can feed the greens to our rabbits and our chickens. But the garlic, I don't think we have enough. I don't think it's enough dried for me to actually pick up the garlic. This one, we had family that came over and they tipped it over. So this one, I think I'm gonna have to pull the ones that are here. One of the chickens escaped because the whole entire family was here and they just jumped over and stepped on my garlic. But because I think they thought it was grass. I am gonna cut the escape that's there, put it in the freezer with the other one, and then I think that's it because I am gonna pull actually these that are bent. I don't want them to end up spoiling. And then the reason I brought you over here that made me remember was these were the arbivores that we grew from Connecticut. So I'm gonna take these out because I need this for my sweet potato, and we're gonna put it in here. And then I have another one over there with 3 little garlics, and I'm gonna pull those too and use it for the sweet potato. So let me do that. I don't have a stand to put you in, sorry. And besides not having a stand, I think the videos become very long when I don't have the software to edit on my phone, and I'm recording on my phone because I don't know what's going on with the camera. So at least I'm doing some kind of video. Alright. And I usually make videos for my insanity so I can remember these things. Let me get started. I'm procrastinating. I'll be back. Okay, so I filled it up with dirt. I put 4 of the sweet potato in here. I was going to put 1 there, but still debating it. Maybe I will. The other thing I did was I did a little trellis for my raspberries. Not sure if you can see it. Here it is. It's holding them in between. So I lifted them up a little bit. So at least the raspberries are not on the ground. So I'm a little grateful. I still have my little red raspberry. Still not ready. And then this one, I'm just gonna push a little bit more dirt in between to see if I can get that one sort of to go a little more that way. I guess I wasn't thinking about a trellis, but at least I got it. It looks so pretty. It's lifted up. That's what counts. So sweet potatoes don't get harvested until sometime almost during the fall. So I'm going to put 2 in my carrot, radish, blocka bed. Should I put it in there though? Now I'm debating. Because if those reseed, I'll have more in the fall. Because you got to be careful you don't have to harvest something in between. Even though these will be underground, I need a good sized plot. So maybe if I put it towards the corners, let's see, like I did with so like right here, this is a good empty spot. Right? There's a tomato right there, so I can't do that one. These are reseeding. I do see some radishes that I can actually grab today. There is a lot of carrots here. So, actually the fact that the carrots bloom over here is kind of a good thing. Like, are you done? No, I saw one that was done. Right here. Next to a carrot. And you. And then actually you. And then you. And then I'll take you out because I'd rather have the carrot. And then what I'll do is I'll put you right here. So here's some radishes and then there is space. Actually, I'll take you. What else do I see? So funny because the radishes, you have to look like in a complete circle to see what looks done. So like now I gotta come in this direction to see what I see could be pulled. Like this can be pulled. This one can be pulled. There's carrots everywhere now. There was no carrots before. This is the one that's repotting. I see this one. This one was supposed to be actually beets, carrots, and radishes. And the beets look like they did really bad. But that's alright. Turn you around. I can pull you. And then these, I just cut them up. Clean them up. And I put them in the freezer. And then whenever I'm going to do like mashed potatoes, I put them in there. Or soups, I put them in there. So let's put this in our basket. Our harvesting basket. You know, the fancy Daniel's harvesting basket. So we still got a lot of amounts of sweet potatoes. So let's walk around and see what we find. that won't be disturbed, that we can go ahead and put the sweet potatoes. Now the onions, I still think they have like about another week or so. From my understanding is when they flop over is when you're supposed to harvest them, but these did so bad, like really bad. What I'll do is I know these you just gonna pull. So like let's pull one right now. Like this, you see, the bulbs are not completely big. So yeah. And I had yellow, sweet yellow. I had the red one and the white bulbs. Then we had the scapes. These did a little bit better. This is from that other company. But I think I put that, truth be told, I think I put them very close to each other. And I probably should not have. So I'm just gonna randomly alternate this because these are gonna go in the ground. Maybe this will fix my issue that I got going on with this bed, for all I know. And let's see what happens. I guess that's what I say. This is my first year growing here in Tennessee in this zone, so this is technically my learning experience. But this year is what I've been told is that this year the weather has been a little weird, according to people. So according to people, the weather has been a little cray-cray. So I shouldn't be going by this year's weather, but I mean, my poor little onions. I mean, for all I know, it could have been this crazy mushroom compost, because, I never did that before either. And I had a lot of mushroom in here. I'm trying to think of where I can put some of this stuff. Some of these beds look like eventually they need to be topped off. And we'll see how they do. The cucumber did great. Still standing straight after we clearly moved it. Maybe we'll put this one here. And then I still got tomatoes that I need to retransplant. Yeah. So I am going to make another. So these potatoes are not done yet. You gotta wait for potatoes to die back. I know they've been flowering. Like, flowering is like the second stage, from my understanding. Then from that stage, once I think the flower dies out, then the plant dies out, then you can look for your potatoes. But I have 2 containers right there that I could be using for my sweet potato. Let me go get more slips and stick them wherever I can. So some of these onions look like they're bent sideways, but we had such a bad weather that I don't know if it's the weather who bent them sideways. You know, so it's kind of weird. See, I have all these tomatoes that technically I should be taking out and replanting them. So I believe strongly in my heart and my gut that I over planted them. Like, I think I did 9 in the square, but I don't think I was supposed to. I think they were supposed to be more far apart from each other. Yeah, so I think that's my bad. But I'll still be happy because I'll freeze dry all of this, and I still can get onion powder, anything, onion scallions. So I'll still be happy. It's alright. I'll still be able to use it for cooking. It just won't be whole onions. And then since I do have the Amish people down the road, I will be, if need to, getting onions from them. And then use those basically if I have to. This is some grass. Not me pulling grass while making my video. The nasturtium had taken over this whole entire thing. I didn't think they were going to be that big. I should have researched it. Alright, let's see. Over here. Can we stick anything over here? I'm just going to stick one. I think the tomatoes will be done by the time I got to do potatoes. Or I should say sweet potatoes. And then here I have radish and I have beets. And I think the radishes are almost done. I'm not letting them technically replant themselves. So I'll put them here. Let the green probably go up because none of the actual beans ended up going up the trellis. So I think I'm safe to say I can do this. And then I do have to top these off with soil because it's very empty. So I will be doing that today too. Actually. Okay, so I left 8 to do over there in a row somewhere. And I have these to plant somewhere. We did 2 here. Let me do, actually, do 1 right here. No, I don't want to do that because over here I got too many tomatoes. Let's see, over here I have my loofahs. Do I want to do any over here? Is the question. Alright, you know what? I'll put one on this corner. Because I'm not sure if all my cold crops will live, to tell you the truth. because of the simple fact that it's gonna get hot soon. We got a cold front, but soon it's gonna get cold again. Now, I thought these were tomatoes, but I think they're marigolds. I want to say somewhere around here I did put tomatoes. Like a frozen tomato. It's so weird. Alright, so over here, I'm gonna do you right here on the edge. You know, I have my gloves, and crazy me, as usual, left them by the cart. So, yep, no gloves. You know, this whole time I thought I was recording. I don't think I was. Okay, so obviously I put all of these just in case in each bed, and I was gonna put some here, but I think this bed is too overcrowded, so I'm not gonna put them here. So I have tomatoes, beans, tomato, kohlrabi. Oh, that's what it's called, kohlrabi. I transplanted all these kohlrabis yesterday. I couldn't remember yesterday the name of it. Kohlrabis. That's what they are. They're kohlrabis. Alright, so the rest of the sweet potatoes, I'm gonna make a straight line over here. Actually, I don't even know if that's gonna work, but it's gonna have to, because I don't think I have any other choice. Actually, I do have that big box over there, and from my understanding, you can do potatoes in a box. Maybe I'll do the sweet potato in the box. Do I really want to, though? I'm scared. Maybe not. Nah, let's not. I'm gonna do the line somewhere around here and hope for the best. Alright, guys. Whew. Can I tell you how I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna do it anyways? So, these are all the slips I have left. It's probably like 10. I'm gonna dump this whole pile here. I'm not gonna make a line. Okay, so let's reverse. Or however reverse is. Whatever. Sweet potatoes grow under the ground. And this ground, no matter how much cover cropping I did, it is a little soft, but not that soft. I think we still have trees and branches underneath the ground. So it's like we're doing this, but we're hoping for the best. You see how that's a little bit dark is because the little cover cropping did great, a little bit good there, but not 100%. Over there where you see all the luscious green between the corn lines right here, between there is a lot of green. That might be better, but I don't want to do it right there because clearly that's the corn line. So, and then we did have the water issue where all the water was draining, not draining going down, it was coming over here, and that's why it slumped that way. So I fixed it a little bit. I still got to finish. I think I stopped right there, somewhere between these two. I stopped, so I wanted to make sure it worked. So I want to say I'm gonna continue doing the ditch, a little ditch to continue that way. Let me see, can I show you? Can I get a little closer? You see my little ditch? That scared me. The little ditch right there. So I do have to go deeper. It is working. So once I do the ditch and I like it and it's working, we do have a lot of rocks. You see, we got piles and piles and piles of stuff right there. So I'm going to take that dirt right there, bring it here to make this piece on this side higher by the post, right? Like I did right there. And then dig the hole, and then I'm going to put rocks in it so the water can flow a little bit better. So obviously I'm not an engineer, I'm an accountant. I can do your taxes, your books, you name it. That's what I do for a living. And I'm not an engineer, so I don't know if by putting the stones there is actually gonna work. We're gonna try the theory, right? But I want to say my ex-father-in-law came over because, you know, we are still in good terms. They love me, I love them. And he told me to do the ditch and it'll work. So I do trust him. I just don't know about the stone. He didn't tell me about the stone, but for what I've seen driving around in the mountain, stones in a ditch actually work. So I'm hoping that works. How about that? So I'm going to continue that after I'm done with the garden. So let's dump this, put the stuff in there. And there's a lot of spots where I need to put more dirt in. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to show you the boring stuff. I'm already at 30 minutes, and I doubt you want to keep watching me do I'd rather do the before and after. It's very difficult. I don't know how YouTubers do it, you know, recording and editing and doing all that stuff, but I'm keeping it real. It is very difficult for me to be recording, editing, posting. That's why you haven't seen any, because I need to focus on my garden. Like, we just moved here. This is our first year, and obviously not everything is working. That's why I'm trying to keep it real, that I can't record and do both at the same time. So I try to do as much as I can when I can. And I do it more for my insanity, because it makes, you know, I can go back and look and see what, you know, what it was, how was it, did it work, not work. So, like, clearly my cover cropping definitely failed this year, but I think next year in the fall, so I'm doing it in the fall as well, the cover cropping, and I'm cover cropping all of this again once everything is done, and I'm cover cropping where all the potatoes are, and I'm gonna cover crop all of my beds once I top them off with more soil. Some of the beds look like they were bent a little bit because they're not leveled completely, so I have to fix that first. And I'm not sure which beds was it, but I think two of the beds, I think it's this one where the cold crops are. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that one is bent. And there's another one somewhere that did not lay flat completely. So I gotta fix that one. Except for those two, I will be cover cropping. Those I have to empty out and redo the stuff all over again. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm procrastinating, people. Let me dump this and I'll be back. So if you hear the whining dog in the background, we got Sal, a little buddy. Her name is Bingo. Say hello to Bingo. But Bingo keeps running away. Yep. Keeps running away. Doesn't listen to her name, even though they say her name is Bingo. And doesn't listen. So we're trying to train her. We're not being mean. But We're trying to train her that, you know, she can't run away. She lives here. But it calmed Sal down. Sal used to jump all the way around, jump, and be a pain in my butt. And now he's actually a better dog than she is, because now we got to train her. But let's continue this, shall we? All right, here's the pile. Here's the sweet potatoes. Now you're probably thinking, oh my God, you must be crazy doing this in a pile. But actually, I'm not. Because this soil can be moved around regardless of, you know, hopefully it just won't flatten is my only main concern. But I'll come around and scoop it back if I have to. And this might be a little too much for just this. I think I need more soil. So I'm gonna go get more soil and come back. But this is not insane, because technically speaking, next year when I do the cover cropping again, it should be easier to break this out and make into lines or aisles, speaking, right? Like I got my broad fork and all that stuff. So though I'm dumping soil everywhere, it really doesn't matter, because eventually I can make this soil will become as good as that soil. It just takes time, people. It takes time. So let me go get more dirt and I'll be back. Here it is. I did top it off with the soil. So now eventually I can come around and scoop it up a little bit. Like I can even do it with my foot, basically. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like when it rains and stuff, I can just go boop, 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 boop. I'm gonna have hubby probably put a scrap of wood there to hold up the soil like I have it there. I do have more wood over there, but I can't move it by myself. So I'll have hubby move or help me move that piece of wood right there and bring it here so it can at least stay put in one little area. Still got soil. Hubby said not to top the around because I'm talking to you. So hubby said not to top the beds if I'm going to eventually remove some of them to make them even, right? And we are gonna cover crop them. So I'm not gonna do that today. I was gonna do it. I was gonna put more onto the beds that need it, especially the one at the end. That one is struggling really bad. Let me ask him about that one to see. And I don't think we can actually do too much because I already planted stuff there. So maybe with the little scooper, I can just go around the plants and make it a little bit better. Then right now I'm gonna do that. Let me ask him if he wants me to do that. I do have some cucumbers that are struggling a little bit, and I think it's because it needs more soil. The sun is like right in my eye, and it's because it's above me. But what else do I have to do? I had this huge list. I'm sorry, you're like all up in my face. I'm gonna ask hubby about that bed. So if he says yes, I'm gonna top it up a little bit with the little scooper. I do still have to move that big pile of dirt. I'm moving it to the corner where I started the compost, and it's sort of like a set it and forget it kind of deal. And that's where I'm gonna start putting like all the manure from the rabbits. And maybe like once a week I'll turn it. I don't need to wet it because technically it's been raining. But at least that'll give me some kind of compost for at least next year, you know? And I don't have to buy soil. The only soil I do have to buy, if the chickens don't do what I'm expecting them to do this winter, with the green stalks, the issue with the green stalks. So what I'm gonna do eventually with those is dump the green stalk soil into the chicken coop. I have a big pool that I think all that soil is gonna fit in, and I'm gonna let them scratch it up, do their thing all winter. We'll put it in a corner so if they do tip it over and it falls on the ground, we can just scoop it back up and put it in the pool. The other thing would be, because no matter what, in the winter, maybe about every month or every 2 months, we do clean the chicken coops, and then maybe I can put that on top to like make it into like more healthier with the chicken coop manure stuff and the hay or the straw, I think it is. So I think that'll work out. The only thing I don't know, which is a little creepy, is the strawberries. So you know how I have maybe about 20 plants of strawberries that are up there. So I might have to figure out something about with the strawberries, like put them somewhere temporary for now. Maybe sacrifice one of these beds to put the strawberries in until the green stalks are right back to normal. Right now they're giving me more, they're ever bearing, so they are sprouting the new plants out. So maybe if we can, is be okay with those, but eventually we have to, I gotta keep around eye on my surroundings. I remember the strawberries, huh? So maybe put them somewhere temporary where next year I can replant them back in the green stalks once the chickens eaten all the bugs out of the soil. And I'm hoping that works. Now, if that doesn't work, then my best bet will be is dumping that soil maybe in the chicken coop. Not in the chicken coop, in the chicken area, and let them scratch and do whatever they have to do with the dirt for maybe a couple of years or whatever, and rebuy soil for the green stalk. Now for each green stalk, I think I need about 6. I'm gonna need probably a good 15 bags of the potting mix. So that's something I don't want to do. So yeah, my dilemma, people, my dilemma. I am still actually have not watered the green stalk. The only thing that has been watering them is clearly the rain that's been raining. The only other thing I want to do is, I do still have peroxide, so maybe I can still continue doing that. But technically I don't want to overwater because that's what makes the eggs. So I want to say this week we don't have a break in the rain. So whenever we do have a long break of the rain, then I can go ahead and do the peroxide. And if that works, then great. And if it don't, then we'll go with the plan A, which is putting the dirt in the chicken coop and having them do the thing that they need to do. So let me ask hubby what he wants to do. I'll be back. Alright, so hubby said do the little scoop in the bed, and we don't want to sacrifice, I guess, the actual stuff that we got growing there, which we don't, obviously. So I'm going there now. Heading there now. Let's see. This is the bed. That's clearly struggling. I'm surprised that we got mushrooms growing here because I didn't put any mushroom compost. This was topsoil, compost. No, it was topsoil, cow manure. I would have to go back and look, but I know for a fact that it was not mushroom compost. So I'm gonna get the mushroom compost, put it around here. I might just cover this because there's no point in that. I see some carrots trying to grow, but they're struggling. Oh, this is insane. I can't believe this is crazy. So I think this is how I was supposed to do the corn. I mean, the onions was the 4 squares, and obviously I didn't do that. I think we did it closer. So that's a bummer. Alright, so I topped it off a little bit with the compost, and then while I was doing that, my husband reminded me, because he's so great, that this bed had actually the wood chips in the bottom, and then we covered it with the cow manure and the topsoil mix, like we had in Connecticut. But don't forget that having wood chips in the bottom of your bed technically could eat up all your nutrients from your bed, because it is wood in the bottom of the bed. And I had totally forgot about that. So he reminded me. The other bed that was crooked actually is the one that's holding that trellis right there. It's that one. So I'm thinking I do want to empty them out, straighten them a little bit, and then obviously redo them, because it was kind of crooked. These bugs are like falling off the trees. It's kind of sad. They're dying. They're supposed to be all gone by like the 2nd or 3rd week of June, and today is May 31st, so they're kind of dying. So he reminded me of that. So it could be that the nutrients is being eaten by obviously the wood chips, but what are we to do? Now, next in the agenda is we're going to retransplant this marigold and one of the sunflowers. So, let's do that. I think the sunflower should be good to retransplant it. The marigold, from Google, not so much. It says that you're not supposed to, but I need to get it out of there because my ginger needs to grow. So what I'm going to do is I'm plopping it probably somewhere over there where my compost is at. So you see the compost. It looks very small because we are going to dump soil there in a few. You guys are not going to see that, but that's the before. I am going to put the marigold somewhere over there between between the 2 elderberries. And then one of the sunflowers is going where we put the potatoes, all the way over there. And then I do have some zinnias. So once I get rid of the nasturtium and one of the sunflowers, I'll see what it looked like before I get rid of the zinnia. So I'll be back. Alright guys, so now my ginger got more space, which is great. I did leave the one sunflower there. I'm debating on whether or not I should move it. I did do my research. Sunflowers actually takes out any toxins from your soil and stuff. So I did put the one that was there in that bed just in case. You never know. So maybe, I want to say I don't think I have any other bed that has issues except for that one. So do I want to move the sunflower? Maybe I'll move the sunflower so my ginger can have more space and not have any sunflower there. I did leave the zinnias though. I just moved them because zinnias you can retransplant. So hold on, let me move that other marigold. The other sunflower. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking out all the radishes and I'm going to leave the beets. Because I know the beets are still good to go for them to grow into a nice beet. And I'm going to feed these radishes to the chickens. So let me get started. And then the empty spots that I have, I'm going to put tomatoes because I still got tomato plants. Alright, so I cleared out all the radishes. Only thing left is beets. Actually, I think that's a radish over there I gotta go get. So now I'm gonna transplant actually maybe a few tomatoes in here, even though I do have 2 there. Maybe I can do 1, 2. I can put 1 here. There's 1 there. And then I can put 1 in the corner over here. Because I put the sweet potatoes there. These I think are radishes actually. Mixed with the corn. I can tell by the leaf. You see the leaf? This is beets. That's radish. So I did put some of my radish in the compost. So let me go get some of these tomatoes and put them clearly in a spot. And then that's it. The rest is just moving dirt. Alright, so I transplanted some of the tomatoes. I'll make you laugh. These are all like literally like my 5 favorite tomatoes mixed in there. I don't know which one is what, but I did do 3 or 2 over there. So you got 1 right there and 1 at the end. I don't want to put anything in the middle because clearly tomatoes need sun. So that being said, you can't really cover them, and if the beans grow or the sweet potato vines grow, it's gonna cover the sun. I can't, once I'm done with this video, I gotta go in and check, but not sure how long the peanuts are gonna be there for, so I still have space there. Actually, the onions typically have maybe about another week or so. I want to say maybe about 2 weeks according to the app. I can't look because you're on the camera. And I think basically that's it. Like after that, yeah. I am gonna harvest actually more celery because it's overgrowing. And then I'm gonna harvest. I'm gonna leave the dirt for tomorrow. It's not gonna rain tomorrow. I'm already tired. And then I'm gonna harvest some of this stuff, which is thyme, lemongrass, oregano, sage, and put it in the I don't want it to bolt. This is parsley, this is cilantro. So I do want cilantro before it starts bolting. And the rosemary don't look too good, but all the oreganos do. The thyme still looks so little. And then I am gonna harvest some sage so I can put it in the freeze dryer. I do see dill over there, and I think there was dill in my green stalk. So I have that I can do, that I can put in the freeze dryer. So let me do that because the freeze dryer takes like 24 hours. But Alright guys, that's it for today. I think we did a lot. Tomorrow I'm just pulling the dirt from one end to the other. And first go see if the rabbits have manure so I can start building my compost. And I think that's it. So I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.